Well, welcome. My name's Keith Hensley with CoreLogic, and we do these webinars monthly. And this month, we're going to talk about the 360 CMA. The screenshot here says that the new 360 CMA. I actually need to change it because it's not really new anymore. It's just simply called, the 360 CMA, excuse me. And so this is just an old PowerPoint that I'd used a couple of years ago. And but like I said, it's not new anymore. So what I like to do before I get in live is to talk about the benefits of the 360 CMA. And the reason why we call it the 360 CMA is because it's a 360-degree view of the entire market. So what are the benefits? Well, one, it's going to be, hopefully, as you'll see, it's going to be quick and easy. You find a property, whether it's listed or not listed, and with one click, it'll find you 20 comps, or it'll try to find you 20 comps. And then once it finds you the comps, you don't have to use them. So that's up to you if you want to do this here. Second, it's classy and professional because the reports you're going to see in here have been modernized and updated. They're going to look a lot better. Some of you may have never used our old CMA or the old package to the CMA that we had, and they just have been refreshed out there. And last but not least, it's complete. And what I mean by complete is not just listed properties, but non-listed sales, such as for sale by owners, can be in here. So I think you're really going to like, if you've never done a CMA in Matrix, especially the 360 CMA in Matrix, hopefully you'll find this beneficial here. And you know what? We don't have a survey after this. So I shouldn't have had that PowerPoint there. So anyways, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to close this down. And as you can see, I am in your matrix system there for Martin County Realtors of the Treasure Coast. And I also, before we get started, I want to let you know that we do have in-person training classes there every month. It's typically the last Wednesday of the month that we have in-person training. And for the last 3 years, I've actually been coming down there. I live in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and every month I've been coming down there and doing training classes. Except for last month. Last month, I had a fellow trainer, a colleague of mine from Dallas, Texas. She's a realtor, or had been a realtor in the Dallas area. And she actually did the in-person training classes last month. And coming this month, another colleague of mine, Brett Adams, is coming into Stuart, Florida, there to do training classes. And I say that just because some of you may have came in the past to in-person training classes, and let's say I was doing those training classes, you might want to think about maybe coming again, because it might be the same topics, but there might be with Brent doing them, or Laura last month doing them, you always hear a little bit different stuff from different trainers. And then I should be back in town in August to do the in-person training class in August there. So, okay, we got a few more joining us here, so thank you. 9 of you now. Okay, excuse me. So CMAs in Matrix. First and foremost, and don't forget to unmute yourself if you have questions, and as long as you have a speaker, you can or a microphone, I'm sorry, you can ask questions, or use the chat down below there if you have questions there. Okay. So hopefully everyone knows what a CMA is. A CMA is basically a comparative market analysis, where you want to compare someone's property, and it can be done for someone looking to buy a house or sell a house. From my experience, the last 24 years, most people use a CMA to help someone sell their house. They're wanting to compare what houses are selling for, and they're wanting to list their property correctly. So typically that's why people use a CMA. But again, it can be done for buyers or sellers. So under my matrix is where you find everything. So it's where you find your CMAs. If you've ever done a CMA, this is where you're going to find them. And once I do a CMA today, this is where you're going to see where you can find your CMAs. And you can actually start a new CMA right here, by the way. I don't like this way of starting a CMA, and I'm going to show you the way I like to. But if you come into my matrix and my CMAs and you click on start a new CMA, what you're going to see here is the CMA wizard. It kind of just walks you through the process of creating a CMA. And now, like I said, I'm not going to use this way. So I'm just going to click on the logo here and go back out to the home page. But you can actually start it that way. And you will see that CMA wizard again, okay, with all those tabs there that walks you through here. Now, there is another way of doing a CMA, and this used to be my favorite way of starting a CMA until this new 360 CMA feature came about. So I'm going to briefly talk about the second way of starting a CMA because you can still do it this way. And some people, even though they know about this new 360 CMA, someone else is joining us here. They still like to do it the old way, which I don't understand why, but just to show you, just so you know, the full circle of how to create or all your options on creating a CMA. It's under my matrix. Well, I'm sorry. Instead of, like I said, that's where you go to find your CMAs. Okay, and that's where you can go to start one, and you can see the one I started. It does auto save it for you, by the way. So the second way of starting a CMA is by you doing a search. And what you're going to do, you're going to search for the comps. So when you come in this way, let's pretend I've got a client, and let me see what my clients are. Let me look at one of my contacts here. We'll use a buddy of mine, Ray and Patricia. They live down in Florida, down in the Tampa area, but we'll pretend that they have a house they want me to sell, okay? So what I'm going to do, I'm going to search for other houses like theirs that have sold recently because I'm going to try to find the comps. So this way of starting a CMA is by going to search and then choosing the property type like their house. Well, theirs is a residential house, so I'm going to search for comps that are residential. Now, here's the question, and we all could have different answers here. What type of search criteria, what kind of statuses do you like to search for when you're searching for comps there? Okay. Oop, someone had a chat there. Are we supposed to be seeing your screen? Yeah, you should be. Is everyone seeing my screen? Susan said she's not seeing my screen here. Hopefully everyone is seeing my screen okay.
I'm just seeing you, which is not bad, but I think we're supposed to look at
Well, thanks. No, joking. No, you should be seeing my screen. Joanne says, yeah, she's seeing my screen there. I tell you what, let me stop sharing my screen. And now let me start it again, and maybe that will help. And I'm glad you stopped me there, Susan, because I didn't want to go any further. Now, are you seeing it?
I am seeing it now. Thank you
Okay,
so
cool.
much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, and thank you for stopping me before I got too far out of hand there. Okay. Um, okay. So the start of now I'm going to show you not the old way that used to be my favorite way, but you can still do it. And this is all leading, it's going to join together. So it's not like I'm wasting your time by showing you it this way. So a lot of people would go and do a search, and if my client's house, Ray and Patricia, has a residential property, and I'm trying to find comparables for them, I'm going to do a search for residential. Now, I think most of us agree that when you do a CMA, I think we all want solds, don't we? Okay. So I think we can all agree with that. Now, some people will say, you know what? I also like to do active listings. And personally, I like that too. Not just active, by the way, but active under contract, pending with contingency, and even pendings. I consider those all to be still on the market or active listings. And the reason why I like these statuses is because I want to show my client, Ray and Patricia, who they're competing against. I also want to show them the solds, houses that have sold. And again, I think we all agree with that one. And I'm kind of curious about this. Does anyone who's ever done a CMA ever do expired listings? Just kind of curious. Okay. And I think they can help you doing expireds, because that could show you the negative side of listing their house at a certain price. Because if I start to look at houses that have expired, just like Ray and Patricia's house, and I might start seeing what the price is, and it's most likely it's because it was priced too high. So that might help me, or help me convince Ray and Patricia not to list their house for a certain price, because look at the expires, they're there too. So that's up to you, whatever statuses you want to do. But I think we all agree that when we want comps, we all want solds out there. Okay. And that 180 is 180 days back, which is 6 months. And you can change that date range if you don't like it there. You can even use the calendar there and open it up and pick your date range there. But to do a CMA, I think we all agree that I want to compare it to other single family properties. I don't want to compare a single family to a condo or a townhouse, if because it's just not the same type of properties there. And then if Ray and let's say Ray and Patricia, they live at this address here, and I just found an address real quick, so I hope it's not your house. 2088 Monroe. I think it was Southeast Monroe, by the way, Southeast Monroe. Yep, they're in Stuart, Florida. So I'm just pretending I needed an address that's there in town there. So what a lot of people will do, they'll do a search for houses within 1 mile of the subject property, that's single family. And you can see right here, it mapped it. So if I go to my map, there would be a 1 mile radius. Let's click it again. I thought I clicked on it. 1 mile radius of that property right there. So I'm pretending that's where Ray and Patricia live. And as you can see, all the red, that's all the solds in the last 6 months within a mile of their house there. Well, if Ray and Patricia has a house that's 3 bedrooms, you probably want to search for other houses with 3 bedrooms. You probably want to search for a property. Oh, that's baths. I'm sorry. 3 bedrooms. And if they had 2 full baths, you might want other houses that have 2 full baths. I think hopefully everyone's understanding this here. And square feet is a huge one. So if their square footage was, let's say 1,500 square feet, then you might want to do, maybe 1,300 to 1,700 square feet. Try to get a ballpark there. And as you're seeing, I found 6 properties that are sold in the last 6 months within a mile of their house, single family, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and square foot. And you can do so many other fields in here, okay? Now when I go to my map here, you can see there's 6 sold, 6 comparable properties. And when I go to results here, you can see them here. And because we have the reciprocity with Beaches MLS and in Martin County there, you can see that some of these, like Beckett Avenue, it's the same property in there twice. Washington, that's a different property there. Harrison, okay. So what you would do if you're doing a CMA this way, you would go through and start picking your comps. You would pick the ones that you think are good comparable properties. And then down here, once you pick them, down here, you've got a quick CMA button that will take those 4 that I picked and kind of give you a 1-page report. It's called a quick CMA. Just kind of, shows you the price, average, median, low, high, the basic statistics of it there. And it even throws in your banner if you've set one up inside a matrix there. And here's the 4, and you can see, a lot of statistics here. You can see the maximum, average, median price, minimum price there. And some people use this for their CMA. Really short and sweet, and 1 page, and that's it. And that was that right there. So it was me doing my search, me putting in the criteria based on my client's house 1 mile within, and other stuff that was just like their house, because I wanted to find others just like their house that had sold there. And then I got my results, and I handpicked the ones I thought was, and then I hit Quick CMA, or you can hit this CMA button right there. So it's going to take the ones I decided I liked, and when I hit this CMA button, watch where it takes me to. Remember that little CMA wizard that goes across the top there? Well, now it says, okay, let's get started. Well, what I do here is I pick my client, and if my client was Ray and Patricia, I would choose them. If my client wasn't in my list here, I could hit that button and then I could type them in real quick here. And I can type in a description if I want to right there. Well, next I go to the next tab called Pages. When I come into Pages, and you'll see that all these tabs are grayed out. Well, you know why they're grayed out? It's because I don't have any pages selected in the CMA. So it's just completely blank. Well, look over here. We give you a couple cover sheets. We give you some couple subject and adjustment pages there. And if I click on one, click on the other, they start populating over here. And as they come over here, now you see all these tabs are now available. And if I open this up, you'll notice we give you several more pages. And if I tap on that header, it pulls them all over. And then I got static pages. Now, static pages never change. They say the same thing no matter how many comps or no matter what comparable property you've got. They say the same message over and over again. So I like them. I think they're nice. I think they're good, but I don't think you're going to use them all. And as you can see by the title, a lot of them talk about the pricing of your property, that you want to price it right and stuff. Okay. So in the beginning, if you don't know what these pages look like, I encourage you just to add them all over here. And then once we look at them, you can decide which ones you like and which ones you don't like, because then you can pick certain ones and take them out, because I don't think we want to talk about commission now, do we? Not in recent events anyways. And then so you can just take certain pages, take them out, pick certain ones and move them up in the order and just rearrange them, okay? And by the way, you can add your own custom pages. So if you've got your own cover sheet, your own title page or whatever, and you don't like ours, you can always hit the custom pages here, and then you can browse your computer, find the custom pages that you like. And I just had some headshots there myself there. I don't need to add those, but so you can add your own if you like, okay? Okay, and then once you've got your pages and stuff, and you can come back and take them out and move them around and all that stuff. Well, then you're going to go to the third tab called Subject. Well, we don't know anything about the subject property, Ray and Patricia's house. So you can either type it in manually, which you can click that link and start typing in their address, their phone or zip code, their features and how many bedrooms and how many bathrooms. You can go over here and add the picture of their house out there, to make it, look professional and nice and neat. I'm going to go back though. I'm going to go back to this fill from search, because if Ray and Patricia's house had been listed before, I could just type in the MLS number, such as this. Let's say this was their property many years ago, 348-525. Okay. And then I could say, you know what, why type it in when it was listed before? And that was this one I grabbed. I just grabbed it real quick there. Well, look, it's got all the information. So it saved me a lot of time because it'd been listed before. And I don't have to type it in. Now, I might want to redo the photo. I might want to add a nicer, more updated photo of the property. But I don't have to type all this information in again. Okay. Now, if it hasn't been listed before, there is no MLS number. So you either manually type it in or you do a tax search for it and you look for it. Okay. Well, then you go to cover sheet. Well, this is the cover sheet. If you have a picture, it'll be there. If you have your photo, it'll be there. If you have your or your client's address, I should have Ray and Patricia's address in there, but I don't. But look at this. When I go to the fifth tab called Comparables, there are those 4 comps that I picked. Then I can, I forgot to add the map page there. But then I can go to adjustments and make pricing adjustments, and I can look at a pricing page. And you'll see this again, okay? And then I go to finish. Here's all the pages, and I can hit view, and it would open up, and I can look at all the pages in the CMA. So I'm just going to hit the X right there. It does auto save it. Okay, I can hit that to save it right there, but I can hit that and kind of get out of the CMA. And remember, if I did save it, it would be found right here, and there it is. Okay. So that's the second way. The second way is me doing a search for the comparable properties. Okay, I search for comps. Let me introduce you to the new way of matrix. And I say new lightly because it's not really that new. It's been like 3 years now, or 2 years. Well, instead of you searching for comps, which you still can do, like I just showed you, you can still search for comps. You can search for the subject property, and matrix can find you the comps. I actually like that way better. Okay, and I think most people do. So watch this. Instead of me searching for comparable properties, I'm going to search for Ray and Patricia's house. But let's say, but Keith, here's the problem. Their house hasn't been listed before. So if their house hasn't been listed, I'm not going to find it in Matrix. Is that correct? No, it's not correct. You know why? Because you can also search for public records. Okay. So I'm going to assume that Ray and Patricia's house hasn't been listed before. So I'm going to go straight to the public records in Matrix, and I'm going to do a search for their house. And again, I'm just pretending that this is their house. So 2088 Monroe. Now it's not, the street name is not Southeast Monroe because that's the Southeast part. I'm just going to leave it blank though. It's in Martin County, and I really didn't have to pick it because look, it already found it. I just typed in street number, street name, and it found their property. So when I go to results, there's their listing. Or I'm sorry, my correction. That's their tax record. Okay. So, and by the way, it actually had been listed before. See right there, that balloon. Okay. But I'm going to pretend it wasn't. So if you find a property, whether it's a listing or a tax record, either one, all you do is click on the tax ID if it's a tax record. If it was a listing, I would click on the MLS ID. I'm sorry, the MLS number. Okay. Either one, when you click that, it's going to take you to what we call the 360 property view. See right here, 360 property view, and see where you got the tax, the listing, the photos, history, parcel, flood maps. But look at that right there. I don't know if you've ever noticed this before. In fact, maybe some of you have. Maybe some of you were just waiting for me to get to this point because you already knew about it, okay? That is the easy button. That is the 360 CMA. You find the subject property, whether it's a listing or tax record, and all you have to do is one click, and it's going to almost always find you 20 comps, okay? Now, let me explain what it's going to do here before I click on it. First of all, it tries to find 20 comps, and I'd say 98% of the time, it will find you 20 comps. What it's doing is it knows this property, and as soon as I hit that button, it's going to do this in a matter of a few seconds here. That's why I'm talking about it now. And what it does is it tries to find other properties within a quarter of a mile of the property. It's going to try to find everything that's happened in the last 30 days within a quarter of a mile, within the same number of bedrooms, 3, same number of bathrooms, 2, and same number of half baths, which is 0. I think in this case was 0. And the square feet, and what was the square footage of this property? I know I said 1,500, but I was just trying to guess there. Oh, right there. Above grade is 1,020, and so I was way off. Total building is 1,308. And I think that's taking in the garage square feet, 288 plus, it looks like it's 1,388. Okay. So basically that house is 1,020 square feet, 2 full baths, 3 the total bedrooms. So that's what it's also trying to do. And it's going to do it in a matter of seconds here, but it's looking for all statuses, on market, off market, solds, and even non-listed sales for sale by owners. So watch this. So when I click that, within a matter of a few seconds here, it's going to come back with 20 comps. There it goes. These are the comps. So it's important to know that if you don't like any of them, you need to take them out. Okay. And you can always add more too if you think there's a better one out there. Now, there's the 20 comps. You can see the statuses. It found active under contract, found solds, found pendings. It even found a non-MLS sale. Okay. Now it does, you might say, well, Keith, wait a second. It's got an MLS number. How can that be a non-MLS sale? Well, that's an old MLS number. Okay. Yeah, it was listed many, many years ago, but recently it was a non-MLS sale. Okay. And it was as recent as see status date, May 31st. So these are the 20 comps. Now you're might be wanting to know what's the search criteria. Well, remember what I said it tries to do? It tries to find things within a quarter of a mile, tries to find things within the last 30 days, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, no half baths, and within a square feet range. As it did that, it says, did we find 20? And chances are the answer is no. So it expands that radius a little bit. It goes back from 30 days to something like 40 days. I don't know for sure. And then it keeps trying and trying and trying until it says, I don't want to go out any farther. I don't want to go back and, too far back in time. So now let's start tweaking the half baths. Let's look for a 1 half bath, 2 half baths. And then it says, you know what? I don't want to add any more half baths. How about full baths? How about bedrooms? Can we increase or decrease that? And then it also looks at the square feet and says, well, let's increase that a little bit there. So it's doing all of that in a matter of seconds. And that's why as you do this for different properties, the search criteria is always going to be different. Okay, it's what I call a smart search. So if I come down here to the bottom, see where it says find more comparables? If I click on that, it's going to tell me what this CMA's search criteria was. Okay, it went out 1.37 miles from the subject property. Okay, I can change it if I think that's too far. It went back 44 days. Not too bad there. Okay, look at the statuses. It didn't care. It says, show me everything. And you can change this. You could say, you know what? I just want non-MLS sales and solds. I don't care about anything else. So you can change that criteria if you don't like it. There's the mileage. It will always do $10,000 or greater. And the reason why it always does 10,000 is because it doesn't want rental properties. Okay. So it just puts in a low number of 10,000 just to make sure it doesn't get any rental properties in here. Okay. It will always do the same property type, in this case, residential. It'll always do the same property subtype, in this case, single family, detached. And look at the bedrooms. It didn't have to adjust bedrooms, so it stayed with exactly 3. Full baths, it did have to make an adjustment on the full baths. Remember Ray and Patricia's house was 2 full baths? So it had to go up to 3 and down to 1 to find some more comps. And look at the square feet range. Wow, that's a big range. I don't really like that range. I think they went a little too far on that range there. And look at the acreage. I think they went over an acre, which I think was a lot too. Okay, but remember, you can change it. But for now, what I'm going to do, and if you look down here, it actually found 34. Remember, I got the original 20, so there's actually some more properties in here. So what I could do is hit results and look at the other ones, the 14 others. So I still have 20, but these are the 14 that didn't make it in there. Are there any in here that I like? Okay, so I can look at them and add them if I do. Okay, so I'm just going to hit back. And I'm back to my original 20. Okay, so that's the button I hit there. I'll click it again. That shows me the search criteria. And then all I did was hit results to see the 14 additional ones out there. And then down here, I just went back. to my original 20. So I'm going to start with the 20. I'm going to look at these first. And if you look at them, look at my high one. My high one was 1.9, almost $2 million. Look at my low, 185. Wow. Okay. Big difference there, wasn't it? Okay. Here's all the statuses. What you could do is start looking at these. They're all 3.2s, except for that one. That's a half baths. Here's a 3.3 half baths. Okay. The top one is always my subject property. Okay. That one will always be up here at the top so that I can see what Ray and Patricia's house looks like. It's a 320. It's a pretty small lot. It's only 1,000 square feet. You know what I want to do? I want to sort this by square feet because I think it found a lot of properties. Look at this. These, I don't think those are good comps. Do you? 3,900 square feet, comparing it to 1,000 square feet? No, not in a million years would I compare that. And look, it's a 3 and a 1, 3 full baths and a half baths. So, or 3.5 baths. So I'm going to get rid of that one. I'm going to get rid of that one. And watch this. Sometimes if you scroll way over here, let's say this one right here on Coral Lakes, I want to get rid of. Watch when I tap on it. Do you notice it turned blue? Tap it again, the blue goes away. You know what it's doing when I'm clicking and it's turning blue? It's selecting it for me, okay? So what you could do is start clicking over here, get rid of the ones that you think are not good comps. I'm going to get rid of everything that's 1,500 square feet or greater. I don't think those are good comps, okay? And plus, I think 20 is way too many comps, okay? But it gave me 20 because I think that's a good starting point. Because remember, I've got all kinds of statuses in here. So I'm going to get rid of those. I picked 9. So I'm going to remove those 9 comps. This is your job, by the way. I'm just kind of showing you some options on how to do this here. Okay, now I'm down to 11. Well, those 11, they're under 1,400 square feet, much better. Look at this one. It's pretty close in square feet, but it's a 1.1, not a 2.0. Yeah, maybe I'll keep that one there. There's the non-MLS sale. That's still there. And here's the question. Let's say I don't like, I only want solds. So maybe I get rid of the pending, the active ones, and when I remove them, I'm down to just the sold properties. Okay. And remember, I didn't get rid of that one. Let's get rid of that one there. Personally, though, I do like to have some active ones in there. And I only included that one because it is a sale. It's just a non-listed sale, but it's a sale nonetheless. Okay, but look at that price, 185 compared to these up here. I know their house, and look at this also. See Harrison, no, that's okay. I stand corrected. I thought that was the same house, but it's not. It's different houses. They're different. See the addresses there. So I don't have any duplicates here. Okay, so that's good. I don't know about you. I think that's the odd man out right there, just because of the price. And maybe it was so cheap because it was a non-MLS sale. Here's the other question to ask you, especially if you see a non-MLS sale. Why was it a non-MLS sale? Okay, yeah, it might have been a for sale by owner, but it might have been from father to son or parents to kids or something like that. You know what I mean there? So I don't really know the reasoning for that that non-MLS sale, and the price is so much lower. So I might just get rid of it just for that fact there. Okay. Now, as I do that, now look at my new highs and lows. I still got one that's up to 580 and as low as 335 or 353, my bad. Okay, so I could have said, you know what? I'm looking at the acres. Okay, that one's got a half an acre. I think I'll get rid of that one just because it has a half an acre, where these ones are under 2/10 of an acre. So I think I'll get rid of that one. Okay. So as you see, and I'm just throwing out some options, some ideas. You're the experts. You're the ones that live there in Stewart, Martin County, Florida, and you decide what you think are good comps. Okay. So as I did that, and believe me, I just found that house at random. I think I narrowed it down to a pretty good range there, 400, and I think I reasoned it out pretty good there too. Okay, so I like those. Now, remember, I went from 20 down to 4. If I want to get any of those back, just hit find more comparables and hit results. Because remember, I had 14. Well, look at this. Now I got 30. Because I narrowed it down to 4. Now, some of those that I got rid of originally are in here. So if I do change my mind and I want some active listings, all I have to do is start picking those listings I want and add it there. Okay, so just because you got rid of it doesn't mean you can't bring them back, and you can. Okay, so I like that part there. I narrowed it down. There's my new range. It's very important to know that this CMA is not saved yet. Okay, very important to know. Remember when I showed you the other way? It was auto saving it every step of the way. At this moment, it's not saved at all. So you can 2 ways. You can email it to yourself or to your client. And that's kind of one way of saving it. It's just email it to yourself or someone else. The second way is look at this. We give you 2 pages in here. If I click on that, there's actually 2 more you could add to this report. Okay, so now there's 4. And you can hit view report right here. And what it's going to do is going to open this up. Now notice what it did. It took me out of here and it's taken me to a new tab, and it's going to pull up those 4 pages for me. Still important to know that that CMA is not saved. Here's those 4 pages. It gives you this page. Let me kind of zoom in on this here a little bit. Okay, those in my banner, puts the address right there. There's the 4, the subject property is right on top, so you can kind of look at this. So my client, Ray and Patricia, could be looking at the stats. Now, if I had actives and solds, there would be actually 3 sections here. Active, all the active listings with its stats. And you know what, that might be worth, let me go and add some active ones just real quick here, because just so you can see it. So let me add 1, 2, 3, 4 active listings there. And I should have done that. Okay, so I got 4 actives and 4 solds. Let's view report again. So now you're going to see a section of all the 4 actives with its calculations, the high, lows, and so forth. And same thing with the solds. And then you're going to have a total section there for all 8 of them. Okay, let me zoom back in. Okay, there's the 4 actives. There's the 4 solds. And there's the summary. It breaks down the actives and the solds, and then it gives you a total there. So that's not a bad page, really. Gives you a little footer at the bottom. Next page has your banner there at the top again. It maps it out. So there's the subject property, and there's the 8 comps. Okay, 4 actives and 4 solds, and you can see them right here. It labels them for you with the footer again. Here's the 3rd page. This page is okay. Minimums and maximum is just letting you know the highs and lows of everything. The high and low list price, and look at the list price I picked. I picked one really pretty high in the actives there. Probably shouldn't have done that. Highs and lows in beds, baths, and half baths. Highs and lows in square feet, price per square feet. And look at my year range. I did a really bad job of picking the year range, because look, the year built range. Well, I got, something that was built in 1972. I don't think that's a good comp there. Look at this. I like this sheet. This sheet looks good. Now, let me show you the legend down here. The blue is list price, orange is sale price, and gray is days on market. So this one right here must be an active listing. You know why? Because there's no sale price there. It has days on market and it has a list price. Same thing with Madison, no sale price there. Look at these ones with orange. They have a list and sale price and days on market. Remember that non-MLS sale? If I had left that one in there, I would have had one with an orange bar, but no blue or gray because it was never listed. If it's never listed, there is no days on market and there is no list price there. So kind of keep your mind on that there as you do these here. So that's the 4 pages. That's just the start though. Okay. So that's the 4 pages. It's still not saved at this moment. When I opened that report, I could save it to my computer or I could print it off for my client, but it's still, this CMA is not saved in my CMA. See, if I go to, I'm not going to do it, but if I went to my CMAs, this is not in here. Okay. Here's how you get it saved. All you do is hit this button right here. When you're ready, you hit the Create CMA button. And when you do that, look where it takes you to. Does that look familiar to you? Now it's saved. See right here, auto saved. Now, if I went up to my matrix and I went to my CMAs, now I see it. It doesn't have a name yet. Okay, see right there, the last modified date right there. That's it right there. If I click on it and I go to edit CMA, I'm right back where I left off. So it did save it now. So now what I do, I pick my client, Ray and Patricia, because remember before I never said who the client was. All I said was the address and it found me comps. Now I'm tagging it to my client, Ray and Patricia. Now I'm going to pages and those 4 pages are still there, but now I can add my cover sheet or sheets, subject adjustment pages, comparable static, map pages. By the way, I don't think you get this general one. I don't think I want it because I don't think there's anything there. So I don't know why I have it, but you don't need it. So here's all the pages. That's what I recommend doing. I recommend throwing in all the pages, okay? Unless you already know which ones you like. Otherwise, you don't know. Now, I'm going to pick the 2. I'm going to hold down my control button. I'm going to pick the 2 cover sheets, and I'm going to move those up to the top. But here's all the other pages in here. I'm going to show you a way in a second. Remember I showed you, you can pick ones and hit the X and get rid of them. You can pick ones, move them up, move them down in the order that you like them in. But once you're done with them, you're going to want to save it as your default, set it as your default, but I'm not ready to do that yet. So what I'm going to do is just continue on. Now watch this. When I go to subject property here, guess what? It already knows about Ray and Patricia's house. You know why? Wasn't that the thing I started with? Didn't I do a search for 2088 Monroe? Remember, I went to public records and I searched for 2088 Monroe Street, and then I hit that find me comparable button. Okay, so it already knows about the subject property. It doesn't have a picture of it, but at least it knows about it. Now, let's say I have a picture of it. Well, I'm going to browse my computer and I'm just going to grab a picture here. Listing images. Let's go in here. I get some nice ones in here. Let's say that's their house. Okay. So I'm going to upload a picture of their house, and it's not their house, but I'll just pretend it is. Huh, I thought I hit that. Yeah, it's still adding it. There we go. Oh, no, I guess it's not. Hmm. Okay, don't know why I didn't add it. I can put remarks here. If anything is wrong on it, I can change it. Okay. Beds, baths, square feet, everything. And look at custom fields. Custom fields, you can go in here and create your own fields and type it in here if you want to. Okay. That's still bothering me. I don't know why it's not picking that page there. Maybe it's just too high of a quality picture there. Let's try that one there. That's bothering me now. Why isn't not adding it there? Let's go out to we'll just pick that one there. Hmm. Huh. Yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, if you guys run into the same thing, definitely let me know. I'm thinking it might be something on my computer that's blocked. Oh, look up here. It's still working. I think my computer is moving really slow here. So we'll see what it is there. Okay. Wow, this is moving really slow, you guys. You can type in remarks here. There's the map location. You could click that and make sure it's the right address there. I'm just going to go on. I'm going to go to cover sheet there. Actually, it's not letting me look at that because it's still trying to upload that photo there. Interesting. Wow. I'm going to hit clear photo. Okay. Sorry about that. That's weird. That's never happened. So let's go to cover sheet. If I did have a picture, it would be there. There's mine, and Ray and Patricia's house would be there. Here are the comps. Remember, I picked 4 actives and 4 solds. If I come back in later, I can pick some and get rid of them, or I can add more later. So if I come back later and I want to add some more, just hit that add from listings. It remembers your search criteria. Okay, so it still remembers it, and I can hit results. Now remember, if I do this like a month later and I do this, it'll probably find me some more comps. So if I come back in later, what I could do is get rid of some old comps and add some fresh ones to my CMA, if that makes sense to you there. I can map them, and I think you already saw this map where I had 8 of them here before. Okay, there they all are. Here's my adjustments. Now, I will show you how to make adjustments. I don't feel comfortable making adjustments. Um, that's up to you if you want to make pricing adjustments. Typically, what I recommend is, unless you're an appraiser or you got a lot of experience doing this, I would probably stay away from making adjustments there. Okay, but that's your call. I'm going to throw in some numbers, some dummy numbers. So let's say bedrooms. Let's say I think a bedroom is $10,000 for adjustments. Okay, what it does is it says, well, this one on Orchid Street, guess what? It only has 2 bedrooms. So it had to add a 3rd bedroom to make it equal to Ray and Patricia's house on Monroe Street there. If I did that on, let's say 5,000 on a bathroom, full bathroom. Okay. What it does, it says, hey, this one on Fraser Court, it has 3, it has too many. So what it did is subtracted, it took out a full bathroom to try to make it equal to each other. Okay. And you can do the same thing here if you want. Again, these are just dummy values here. So I'm just showing you that it does auto calculate there. And you can scroll through and you can even put in price per square feet. Let's say it's $150 a square feet there. Well, what it does, it adds or subtracts. See, it's trying to make it equal to their house, okay, based on the price per square feet. Same thing with acres. So if you wanted to, you could do that. I like leaving it blank. I don't like making price adjustments, but that's your call. So look at this. You've also had a different view here. This is one view where you see each one in a single line. But if you hit that right there, you can kind of look at them one at a time. So here's my subject property, and there's Orchid Street. Then I could go to the next page and look at my subject property and compare it to Jack Avenue and make your adjustments. Subject property and the 3rd property, subject and the 4th. So you could do it this way, or you can go back to that single line mode. That's your way of doing this here, okay? Then we go to pricing. Now here's the low, there's the median, average, and high price. There's the adjusted price. So I did have adjusted figures in there. So there's my new prices there. This right here is where you say what you think you should list it for. So if I click on that right there, I'm going to put in, let's say here, I'm going to kind of ignore that high one. That one's kind of way too high. But if my median and average, oh yeah, look at that 468 there. I'm going to look at the adjusted price. Going off of that, I suggest we list it at 400,000. How about that? Okay. And then down here, notes, this is why I think you should list your house for that amount. This is where you just explain yourself, okay? And I did that for a reason, because I want you to I want to show you where it would actually print out for you there, okay? So that's the pricing. Let's go to the Finish tab. Okay, remember I added every single page in that CMA. Here's how you preview it. So before I ever email it or print it out, I'm going to hit the View button. And watch what happens when I hit View. It takes me to this page here, and it's going to open up all those pages. Now, my computer's already moving kind of slow, so I'm wondering how long this is going to take. So that's all it did. When I hit that, it took me to another tab there. So while it's doing that, I'm going to go back to this tab right here called Subject. Or I'm sorry, Pages. Because remember, I don't know what those pages look like. And remember, I need to reorder them, and I need to take some out that I don't like there. Okay. So as it's doing it, see if I come back here, see it's still pointing down all those pages there. So we'll let it, here we go. It's finishing right now. Cool. Okay, so there's my CMA. Now, if I go back to pages, the very first page I'm looking at is this one right here called Cover Sheet. Here's the question. Do you like this one? It looks all right. It'll look better if I had a picture in there, wouldn't it? If I go down, here's the second one. This one, the only difference here, notice the photo is off to the right-hand side, where this one, the photo was centered. You know why? Because the second one would have subject remarks. Remember back here on the subject page, you can type in remarks there. So if you do type in remarks, you might want to go with the second one, because that would put them right here, okay? But since I didn't do remarks, I might want to take that page out, and I'll only go with that page. Now, this next page is the CMA brief. That's this one. Remember, we already looked at that one before, and that one doesn't look bad. Okay. The next one is the map. Doesn't look bad. I don't mind that one, so I'll keep that one. The next one was that minimums and maximum here. Okay. And I'm not crazy about that one. It's okay. So I'm going to highlight it. I'm going to take it out though. The next one is the list price and sale price chart. If you remember, we already saw this one too. Remember, it shows the actives and the solds and that different colors there. Okay. So that one's not bad. Pricing adjustments. Okay, let's take a look at that page. This one right here shows you the subject and then the first two comps, then the subject and the comps 3 and 4, subject 4 and 5. Remember, I had 8 of them. 4 and 5, 6. No, wait a minute. 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. There you go. Sorry, guys. Then we get into this days on market chart. Well, do you like that one? That's up to you. Then we get into pricing recommendations. Hopefully you guys are seeing how I'm previewing this, okay? I'm just going back and forth. I'm looking at page by page. Here's that pricing recommendation, the recommendation page. Remember, I typed in 400,000. Remember, I did that right here. I typed in 400,000, and remember, I typed in the notes there. That shows up on this pricing recommendation page. Okay, so I do like it. It's going to show them the stats up here. Okay, and it's going to give them a little facts about pricing and stuff. So I think it looks pretty nice there. That's up to you if you want it. So let me go back to pages there. That's that one. Next one's a Pro Report. Pro Report has several pages in it. I like them. Okay, gives you a little thumbnail view of all 8 properties, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Okay. It also gives you this little chart here, active listings or active properties. And there's your stats on the active ones. Here's your sold properties and the stats on the sold ones there. And there's your summary of all of them. Okay. So I like that Pro Report. Now we're getting into the static pages. Get back here, activity versus timing. Then you got my guarantee to you. If you like this one, what some people do, if they like this one, they might move this one up near the top. So that way they can sign it or have them sign it or something like that. I actually don't like that one, so I'll take that one out. Effects of overpricing, the benefits using. I do like benefits using a realtor. So let me show you that one. Here's the effects. Basically, a lot of these pricing ones, they say the same thing, but the graphic and the verbiage differs a little bit there. So you choose which ones you like, because what it's trying to say is don't price it too high, because the higher the price, the longer it's going to sit on the market and less people are going to look at it there. Okay. But you also don't want to set it too low either. Here's the benefits of using a professional realtor. And that's the one I really do like there. So if I like that one, I might want to think about moving it up near the top, letting them know. And especially if I'm working with someone who's trying to sell by the, for sale by owner, say, hey, look, this is why you need me. I'm a professional realtor and this is what's going to help you here. Market analysis explanation. This one could also be good. It kind of explains what a CMA is right here. The importance of pricing. See, you don't want to list it too high, too low. You want to find that sweet spot there. But then you got setting price. Again, you want to hit the sweet spot. So which one conveys the message the best in your opinion there? So you choose which one you like. And like I said, where the commission goes, I don't know if that's a good one to have right now. Okay, so maybe I'll take that one out. So yeah, you just got several reports in here. Okay. I like this one, steps to positive showing. It gives them a to-do list to check off, make sure you clean it up and stuff, and what it takes to show before and after and during and all that good stuff there. Okay. So that's all your pages. So hopefully that helps you to know, how to take them out, how to move them around, how to preview them. But once you get done and you find the ones that you like, set it as your default. And then that way you don't have to pick them again. And if you're kind of on the border between having this one or that one, leave them both there. And then that way you decide each time, because maybe when you're working with a for sale by owner, you like this report, but when you're working with someone else, you like that report. So if you're not sure, keep them both in there. Okay. Just remember you can add your own custom pages, which I didn't there. Remember it does auto save it, but I'm going to hit that little disc there to resave it again. So now it's saved. And just remember, you can now go back to my CMAs and you can find your CMA. See that one right there? That's the last one I did. See this one here for Ray? It's the cross property. That was the first one. Remember when I went to search and I searched for the comps? That's that one there. When I let Matrix find me the comps, that's the 360 one. Okay, so that's the difference between the two there. Okay. Did a lot of talking. Any questions for me? You can always, if you think of something later, you can always reach out to Janet or Marisa or Renee there at Martin County, and they can get you in touch with me, and I can help answer your questions if you think of something later. Okay.
I do have a question.
Sure.
Is any of this data downloadable like in a format that's not PDF so that you'd be able to snip out pieces, stick it in your own kind of a layout and all of that, or do they not really want us doing that?
Like an Excel spreadsheet?
Well, Excel, or let's say, I guess I can always take a screenshot, right,
Uh-huh.
of a specific section using some type of an editor, but Yeah,
Hmm.
like even the Excel spreadsheet. I guess you would go back and just export it from there then, right? From your listing view.
Yeah, you can't do it here. There is no export button there.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's a great question. So the only other way I can think of is to take those MLS numbers and do a search for them. Because once you do a search for them, and let's just pretend that I search right now for the eight properties there. I typed in the MLS numbers. Once you find those 8 properties, then you can select them. Here you have an export button. Okay.
Yep, I
What?
found that one today.
Yeah. So why don't we put that export button in the CMA part? Maybe we should. Maybe we need to think about that there. Because all we're doing is making it one step harder for you to do that. So if we would have put in that CMA, yeah, that's the only way. So, no, because some people are really good with Excel and they do pivot tables and do their own calculations in there. And so that's a valid question. Just let me test this just to make sure I'm not missing a way to do it there. Add from listings, get my results again, because this is where we were at first. There is still no export button down here either. Okay. Yeah. I think all you're gonna have to do is jot down those MLS numbers, do a search for them right here or there, don't matter. But once you do a search, then you can export it there. So that's a good idea. I'm gonna see if I can make a recommendation, see if let me hit the back button here. Because you've already got them, why can't we just put export?
Hmm.
Yeah, so I don't know why, because we still allow you to export them. So why not just make it a little easier for you to export them? So yeah, okay, no, good question.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I hope you guys learned something. I hope that was not a waste of your time and valuable there. So if you do think of something, just reach out to Martin County and they can get you in touch with me. Okay. All right. Thanks, you guys.